Plastic wheels on carpet lanes, tiny hands, big time dreams. VHS tapes played on loop, monster roars from the living room tube. Mom said dinner, I said one more run. My toy truck's chasing the setting sun. Posters on my bedroom wall, chrome and mud, the engines call. I mapped the torque, I knew the feel. Blueprints drawn in graphite seal, but life came fast, no warning light, and dreams got shelved in the quiet night. Now I race through rail and renders, digital dirt, pixelated fenders. I build with care, I tune with pride. Each launch a thrill I get to ride. I never hit the stadium floor. My hands still chase what I adored. Wife and kids, they light my lane. Love and chaos, joy and strain. No wrench in hand, no roaring crowd, but bedtime laughs are just as loud. And when the world fades into sleep, I build my dreams in data deep. So I race through ram and render, time my soul still fighting the uphill climb. Back on the floor, lost in play. Old tapes roll through a rainy day. I didn't know that dream would grow into something others get to know. Not on tour, but in my den, building joy again and again. And again, and again, and again, and again. From carpet tracks to code and lore, I give the world what I asked for. What I asked for. What I asked for.
Alrighty, guys, here we go. It's the Community Clash presented by Beam Motorsports. This is round 7 from Pontiac, Michigan. Gone but not forgotten, certainly. As always, I'm Benjamin Butler. With me, as always, here's of late, Austin Spence. And Austin, man, it's been a crazy season so far. We got a long way to go still.
You're absolutely right, Ben. And, you know, like you said, long but not forgotten. This venue plays such a near and dear to my heart. I grew up in Southeast Michigan my entire childhood. Anytime there's monster trucks in town, I always went to the Pontiac Silverdome, whether it was a Motor Madness days, early Monster Jam before, unfortunately, it met its end with monster truck shows in 2010. I went to every show possible. So this is a very special event for me. But, man, let's talk about this track, man. This is wild. There's so many different types of obstacles we haven't seen before. This is definitely going to be a driver's course, so I'm excited to see how our drivers are going to be able to play this out here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of U-turns, a big old hill right there in the middle. Drivers are going to make one complete lap in each of their lanes. This is called St. Louis style racing. It's more of a modern style, but this is a very retro track for sure. We got a couple other things to talk about. We got Johnathan Robinson, who took over the points lead last week. He's got a target on his back. One more race win after winning the last 2 events, and he's going to have a target on his back.
I believe that is what we talked about at the very beginning of the series. We have implemented what we call a bounty system, to where if a competitor is coming out and is just absolutely dominating, I believe we put out there, what was it, 10 to 20 points is what we put on that competitor to whoever knocks them out in the next event, whether it's in round 1, semifinals, or finals. Those are extra points that are added on to your series total. So you got, being Johnathan Robinson in the back, there's probably a lot going through his mind right now. You know, he finally got that jump up to the number 1 seed in our point standings. But if he wins this event tonight here at Pontiac, he's got an even bigger target on his back for the remainder of the season.
Absolutely. And then we got to talk about Eli in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle truck. He's only 7 points back, and he's been a really strong competitor all season. So, I mean, all the big dogs are here. We're going to have to see if Greenhorn can keep it up, the shiny side up this time. We're going to have to see if, you know, Smash Squad can continue on his bridesmaid path. We got all kinds of stuff going on. A couple guys not here that have been regulars on the tour. E.G., I hope you're listening. I hope your eyes get better and we get you back out here on the track. But it's definitely going to be an interesting night for sure.
Exactly, you know, and we are so grateful to have this amazing community that has jumped in and been a part of this series. And, you know, this is stop number 7. We are slowly coming to a close, but we're not done yet. Ben, it's time to kick off round 1. Speaking of our points leader, this is Johnathan Robinson coming out first in Whiskey Maneuver, taking on Mad Viking in Greenhorn. And, you know, we were talking about 3 events in a row, you get the bounty points. You have, you know, more points on your head that you became a target as a competitor. I feel like we need to implement something for Mad Viking when it comes to crashing 3 events in a row, because this would be, if he ends up on his lid or destroying that poor Greenhorn truck, he might be out of a job, or just, I mean, I guess just making the highlight reel. What do you think, Ben?
Well, I'm definitely sure that Josh McClung is not very happy with him, the owner of Greenhorn and Mountain State Motorsports. He's definitely going to have a lot of explaining to do if he wads it up 3 weeks in a row. And Johnathan Robinson's been running extremely strong. Mad Viking, he also puts on a good run when he gets up in there and actually puts it together and keeps it upright. So this could be anybody's race right here. It's a very tricky little course. The concrete is very slick. These big old monsters, you know, they got big cleated tires, but it doesn't really do anything for you when this floor is completely slick. They really like something to bite into.
Well, we're definitely going to see how these trucks are going to handle, because this is round 1. Trucks are off. And let's see how round 1 is going to fare for these 2 competitors.
Something happened there to Whiskey Maneuver, having a little bit of trouble. He's falling behind quite a bit. Greenhorn.
He's getting some ground up pretty quick, though.
Greenhorn
this is still anybody's race.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. He's going to slide it around that course. See, there you go. I was talking about sliding around on the concrete. Greenhorn just could not capitalize. The win's going to go to Whiskey Maneuver, Johnathan Robinson.
Great driving from Johnathan Robinson in Whiskey Maneuver. So one of the implemented rules that we have with this track, obviously you guys can see on our course that we have the starting light in a very not a very good position, but it is the best position we could find for our drivers to where they'd be able to see the lights for the calls. And one of the rules that we have in place is that if you run into the starting light, you will be disqualified. Obviously, we want to have respect for our equipment, but same thing goes for our turning cans that you can see. We're not going to have anybody turn into them or run into them, or that will end up as a disqualification. So the fact that he was able to get that truck back under control and make up enough ground to get the win, awesome driving from Johnathan Robinson and Whiskey Maneuver.
Here we come with our next pair. We're going to have the Everett Skybolt and Kai out of Everett, Washington, going to be taking on Chauncey Gibbs and the Axeman. This is one of our favorite trucks from the Retro Revolution Tour. Usually runs a diesel. For this tour, you can only run gasoline, so he switched to a big old Hemi.
I still don't think Gibbs is too big of a fan of me, because he still claims to this day that I jinxed him when we were at Pinewood Hills, that I made the comment that turning is Gibbs' kryptonite with the Axemen, and you know he says I jinxed him. I think he was just proving my point, because going into the very first turn at Pinewood Hills, he put that beautiful Mopar truck up on its lid. Now, I think he doesn't have to worry about that here at Pontiac, because the floor is slick enough. If anything, he's just going to be sliding across the floor left and right. But I have a lot of faith in Gibbs. We'll see what he's going to be able to pull out here with that Hemi power.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have his hands full with a huge Hemi power plant underneath there. But Kai, as soon as the green light hits, he is gone. Both of these guys kind of bouncing around a little bit. trying to get it together. Gibbs has done spun the truck out. He has to back up. That's not going to help him at all.
Well, at least we don't have to worry about him rolling over. But, you know, Kai has been on point all season long. He originally started off in the Appalachian Dream, a Mopar powered truck, and then he was able to come out here with his own identity, the Everett Skybolt, and he has been making a name for himself left and right. As seen here, he is going to be moving on to the next round.
And here comes Gibbs.
But hey, congratulations, Gibbs. You're able to keep it right side up. And I don't know if you noticed this, Ben, but he actually has a hood on that truck.
Well, the diesel doesn't stick out of it anymore. You got to be able to cover that thing up. Don't want them to know exactly what you're running with. But, you know, I will say that Gibbs has gotten a lot better running these Leafer trucks. I've heard he's extremely good with the CRD. When you switch back down to the Leafer and it's a whole different animal, it's a lot of adjustment that you have to make. And I'm good to see him at least be able to keep it upright. Like you said, he's rolled it quite a few times, especially in the Retro Revolution series.
Hey, like you said, show needs it, and that's what all we're about here. We want good old-fashioned monster truck racing fun. You know, if you ain't going to win, at least make it interesting, make the highlight reel. But coming out next, we have got our number 2 in points, Eli, in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle truck, taking on Dominic Hokut in the Dominator. Dominic Hokut has been, I would say he's been to almost every single event that we have hosted this year so far, Ben. So as far as consistency goes and just making it to every event, kudos to him. But I still think he has been struggling to get that old Ford figured out for this course. Meanwhile, Eli, he has been bad fast all season long.
Well, his qualifying time didn't really show it. Towards the bottom of the leaderboard, from what I remember, I mean, go over here and look and make sure I'm selling everything the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, at least one of us got notes. I'm just throwing everything at the hip here. You know what I mean?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle put down a 26.90 in qualifying, and there's the green. Both of these guys getting off and moving. You know, I wonder
so far
if we'll ever get that
even turn here.
I wonder if we'll get that double flip like we saw one time out here at Pontiac.
Oh man, a double rollover. I tell you, that would be the dream. I would love to see a double rollover at least once at one of our events, but we're slowly coming to a close with our endeavors here. Eli going across the finish line by about a minute ahead of Dominic Hokut and Dominator, so Eli will be moving on to the next round.
Okay, looks like he's having a little bit of internet issues there. Having some odd-looking bounces come out of that truck. Been like that most of the year.
Unfortunately, it just is how it is. We all know that BeamNG, especially with BeamNP being as big of a mod as it is, you know, depending on where you're at, what kind of internet provider you have, unfortunately will have a hindrance on your computer's performance. You hate to see it. Not saying that I have a NASA computer is what we like to call them, but, you know, it's still a pretty decent amount of power. It's not something like you could run a console to run this game. So tough break for Dominic Hokut, but you know what? This is only season 1, and I guarantee you we'll see Dominic coming back in the future.
Here comes the boss out here on the floor. Everybody needs to straighten up and act like they know what they're doing. Josh McClung out of Parkersburg, West Virginia. Old Bobcat.
Okay, I don't give him too much credit. When we ran his hometown track, he lost in the first round. When we ran the recent event over at Arrowhead Stadium, he almost nosed right into a beer can. You know, just because you got all the money in the world, you got deep pockets for your race team, doesn't mean you know how to buy talent. And I think old Josh McClung has proven that. Maybe he'll prove me wrong up here in the commentator booth and maybe actually put some power to the floor here in Pontiac, Michigan at that old Iron Rose truck. But so far this season, he hasn't really been showing the light of day. He's normally in a truck called Backlash with us over there on the Retro Revolution series, and he is always bad fast. So I don't know if the Iron Rose is cursed, or maybe he has some kind of niche up his sleeve or something that he's trying to figure out with his truck, but he has not been able to get this thing past round 1 all season long.
Well, I mean, the difference between having deep pockets and no pockets is he's down there and we're up here. And over in the other lane, we have the War Pony about to go try down. He's been getting a lot better over the last few weeks. We're hoping to see some even more improvements out of this. There's the green right there, and McClung gets him out of the hole.
He gets him out of the hole, but it looks like War Pony's already got some issues there. We were kind of talking a little bit earlier when we were doing the pre-show in our drivers meeting. Solomon isn't really feeling too well today. He said he was feeling a little bit under the weather, and he said it may cause a little bit of a hindrance in his driving style.
There he goes. He's got a tire down.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for War Pony. Oh, congratulations, Josh McClung and Iron Rose finally getting that beautiful square body Chevy into the second round.
I'm sorry, man. I'm trying not to laugh.
Uh-oh. What did I do?
All the talking about him not being able to survive the first round, and there he goes, moving on into the second.
Well, when you got a man, how am I saving myself out of this one? Well, when you have a driver that's sick and has a tire down, I mean, let's be honest, it's more of a buy run, kind of a handicap. So I want to see if old Pappy McClung, Josh McClung, actually knows how to wheel that truck. So maybe, just maybe, he might be able to put it down here in round number 2. But I'm not giving my hopes up. I think he just got lucky.
Well, speaking of putting it down, this guy right here, we know all about him. He always puts down either the craziest run or the fastest run of the night. And this is Chris Gosler out of Lakeland, Florida, driving the Mothman. You know, we took a trip to the Hall of Fame last weekend, and I actually got to stop and see this truck's namesake, and that thing is crazy looking.
Yeah, you got to actually go see the actual Mothman statue, and you're mentioning something about putting a quarter up the statue's behind. I was a little concerned for you there as to what that all meant.
I couldn't tell you what that meant. That poor lady that I talked to, she pulled out a handful of change and was about to go ham on it and asked me if I wanted to try it too. I'm like, no, I'm good.
What? Is it a vending machine? Like, is it just a secret vending machine?
I have no idea. Something about spirits and don't want to anger him, and I guess maybe he'll be seeing him tonight. We're seeing him right here in the Pontiac Silverdome. Chris Gosler gets a good jump. They're both spinning the truck around that corner as fast as they can, and now they're going to try to come down here. And this huge hill on this track is quite the equalizer. Either you're going to send it or no send, and neither one of them fully sent it. I guess they're saving the equipment for the next round. But Chris Gosler is going to motor his way on into the second round. And a good run from Howler there.
That was neck and neck all the way through. Howler, basically, he was right there at Mothman's door all the way up until that final turn. And like we were talking about earlier, this concrete is slick. You might as well say that you're driving on ice, and the only form of grip you have is when you're coming up onto these dirt paths here. So it is definitely a driver's course where you don't want to be mad all the way to the full throttle the entire time. It's almost like less is more. So we'll definitely have to see what's going to happen moving on in tonight's festivities, because so far this is anybody's game. And, you know, speaking about the highlight reel, Kyle Seasock is coming out. Oh, yeah. Old Kyle Seasock is going to be taking on Joe Lobus in Pasture Pounder. You want to talk about other drivers are coming for Kyle's spot as far as king of the highlights. Joe Lobus, we were just going over footage over the past couple of shows. Joe Lobus rolled that truck 3.5 times over at Oil X Speedway by just clipping the wall. And, you know, the fact that he was able to come back out the very next week and put Mad Viking and Greenhorn back on the trailer is a testament on its own. But now we got two wild and crazy drivers getting ready to line up, and that's Kyle Seasock and Joe Lobus. Man, I don't know who's going to win. I just want to know who's going to finish.
Well, you also have to remember the last time we were here at Pontiac, Kyle Seasock wadded this thing up into the wall. So we're going to have to see if he can actually survive. It's the battle of who can survive the longest.
I think it's like you say, this race alone is worth the price of admission, I think is what you like to say quite a bit. Oh boy. Oh, it is cattywampus.
Oh, hold on to it.
Lobus was up on two wheels, able to crawl it over.
He just runs over his tire and keeps on going.
Oh, man. Save the equipment, Joe. Just get to the finish line. Man, this is 2 weeks in a row that Kyle has wrecked in round one. But when we were over there at Arrowhead Stadium, he was able to actually finish the race. I know he's not too happy about that. We might need to get Kyle up here and see if maybe he's got a curse here over at the Pontiac Silverdome.
Yeah, Pontiac seems to bite him every time we come here.
You know, congratulations to Joe Lobus representing Ford Motor Company in that beautiful white pickup truck. He's going to be moving on to the next round. We've got one more. We got a couple more pairings here.
Yeah, we got 2 more matchups here in the first round. It's a beautiful stadium. The model for this stadium is incredible. Just sitting around looking at everything. It's an exact replica of the Pontiac Silverdome, and too bad it's no longer with us because it was a beautiful place.
Man, like I said, I have spent so much time. So I know you're not much of a Jam fan. In my later years, neither am I. But I could say that I was able to go to the final show that was there in January 2006, and then I also went to the final 2 shows that were actually independently ran. And it was like the first time that Bigfoot made an appearance at the Pontiac Silverdome in like 20, 30 something years. It was a very special venue, a lot of, really iconic moments. And probably the coolest part of going to those final shows was seeing Alan Pizzo come out in the original Leaf Spring Predator do a car crush. And I think that was kind of started the whole era of starting to restore all these classic old school trucks and kind of getting more younger fans, newer fans that love monster trucks into like the origins of this amazing industry. And obviously, for those that you may or may not know, the Pontiac Silverdome was the host to the very first public car crush during a tractor pull event that Bob Chandler came out, put the truck on a couple of cars, and people jumped over the walls and surrounded the truck. Absolutely iconic moment.
He had to lock the doors. He was scared people were going to try to come up in there and get him.
Exactly. So a lot of history here at the Pontiac Silverdome, and yes, it is unfortunate that it's no longer with us. I actually have a seat hanging up on my wall that is originally from Pontiac, so I get to carry a piece of that history with me no matter where I go, because this building meant so much to me in my childhood. Anyway, we're going to get back to virtual monster trucks, because right now we got Smash, or Crush Squad, and Sergeant Smash.
You almost had it, buddy.
Monster
It's
Mash.
The Monster Mash and the Smash Squad. Locking horns.
There's too much smashing going on here with these two. Oh man, I really do
Bradley,
like.
A little weird bouncing from Monster Mash has allowed Bradley and Smash Squad to jump out to the lead a little bit. Monster Mash is pushing it a little too hard. You can't let it get you behind. When you get behind, you just got to let it go. Just keep on going. Race. Oh man.
Ooh. Issues over there.
Woo!
Monster Mash having issues over there. I don't know what happened on your end there, Ben, but I've got front wheels missing off of Monster Mash on my end.
I just got one blown out, or actually 2 blown out rear tires, but man, he put up a valiant effort. See, when you get behind in a race, you just you got to brush it off. Once you get behind, all of a sudden you're panicking. I got to make up time somewhere. You just race your race. That's all you can do.
You're absolutely right. Well, that was the second to last run of round number 1. We've got one more matchup here, and it's going to be Power Surge taking on North Star Nomad. So it's going to be another Ford versus Chevrolet matchup between these two. And here comes North Star Nomad.
I think this might end up being a buy run because Power Surge isn't in our lobby, so this might be a free pass.
Just racking up free points. Can't be mad at that. I mean, as long as they finish the race, just don't do what happened last week. I remember when I think we had a red light in a round with War Pony to where his competitor red lit, and I think it was probably the slowest time that we have had in B Motorsports Community Clash history. I felt like we could have put a tortoise out there that would have ran a track time better than what we saw at War Pony because he was just trying to save the truck.
And North Star Nomad is not taking it easy out here, putting it to the wood, trying to get around here as fast as he can, and I don't quite understand why. This is one of the ones where you'd want to save every little bit of equipment you can because it's a rough ride out here.
You're absolutely right, and you kind of saw it a little bit there because when you go over that little tabletop that these trucks are starting on top of, when you go over the finish line, if your rear end kicks those crush cars that you kind of start off with, you know, going into the first turn, if you roll over, you wad it up, that's game over. Even if you won the race, if your truck's not going to be able to make it back, then unfortunately it's a tough break and we have to send you packing. So a lot of things when it comes to trying to come out here and win, who's going to come out on top, if you're going to come out here and put it all on the line, but if you also need to understand, if you wreck, even if you won, because we even saw it with, well, thank you. We even saw that with Bombshell. Bombshell was ahead at Oil X Speedway about 2 to 3 truck lengths and absolutely nosedove the truck, wadded it up, and unfortunately was not able to come back, given the win to his competitor that he obviously had more power and beat him to the finish line. So it's one of those things as a driver, you need to be smart. You need to understand what you're capable of and understand that if the race is lost, save the truck. But just like that, Ben, we're getting ready to start round number 2 of Monster Truck Racing. It is going to be Everett Skybolt taking on Whiskey Maneuver. I mean, I'm not going to lie. This matchup right here has the potential to be a final race. I mean, these two are bad fast. They're very technical racers. And like I said, our good buddy Johnathan Robinson has a massive target on his head, being back-to-back racing champion at our past 2 events. And I know Kai and Everett Skybolt, being out there in Washington, he is hungry and he is itching for his first win this season.
Well, he's already pulled off 1 win in the Appalachian Dream, Clearbrook. So everybody always wanted, once you win one time, you always want a second one. And I tell you right now, Johnathan Robinson doesn't need any of the same problems that he had with his first round run. And there's the green right there. He had some issues getting over that first set of cars, and if he had a stiffer opponent, he might have been able to hold him off. But Kai's no slouch, so it might be a different tale of a different race on this one. Kai's pushing the truck a little bit too hard right here. Just got to keep our eyes up and see what's going on. He's pushing that truck to the
Kai. Oh, no!
Hold on to it.
Definitely put it a little bit over the edge. Obviously, the win is going to go over to Whiskey Maneuver, but Kai bonsaiing that truck.
Well,
what
I mean,
in the
when
world?
it comes to the last corner, you just go for broke. That's all you can do about it.
Well, how is that for starting round number 2 here at the Pontiac Silverdome? That's what we like to see. Even though it sucks for Everett Skybolt not being able to move on to the next round, congratulations to Kai, being a strong competitor for season 1 here of the Community Clash. Seems like he's going to be struggling a little bit to get back to the pits.
And we had a good weekend, didn't we?
We absolutely did, man.
Oh man, it's been a whirlwind week. All this stuff getting ready to go, getting all these guys qualified and set up, and making sure everything is good to go for them. So when they get out here, they can put on their best show for people sitting at home watching.
I was talking a lot of mad crap about this guy that's coming out here, Josh McClung and Iron Rose. If there is ever going to be a moment where I'm going to swallow my pride and eat my words, if Josh McClung and Iron Rose manages to somehow beat second place point champion Eli and TMNT, I will be floored. I don't even know if I'll be able to do commentary for the rest of the night. I'll be that in shock.
Well, I will tell you this, though. It's setting up, if Eli can actually pull this off, it's going to set up a showdown between 1 and 2 in the semifinals. So Eli needs to put his thinking cap on and kind of do what he has to do to make it through this round and get ready for the next one. But if Josh McClung can pull this off, I think I'm right there with you. We might just have to pack it up and go on home because, I mean, that'll be the upset of the year.
I don't know about the upset of the year, but I mean, I know he's going to be upset after he goes back and rewatches the stream with all the trash talk I've been doing. But the green light is gone. Iron Rose and TMNT are at war with one another, and TMNT is already around that corner.
He's just out for a Sunday drive, but Josh McClung is trying to make a comeback on him. I don't think he's going to have enough time to do it. He's trying to get that truck to slide just like he wanted to. He cut that corner really good, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Yeah, Eli and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle truck's going to move on to the semifinals.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't be driving like Miss Daisy. You can't be driving like a retiree over at the golf course. You need to put that thing to the ragged edge if you want to come out here and win an event here at the Community Clash.
So now
So
you start, because he lost, now you can talk all the trash you want. It's okay.
absolutely, that's how this works. I'm all the way up here in commentary. He's all the way down
Well,
there.
let's
He won't
see.
hear what I said until afterwards.
I think you should be able to tell him to his face. All right, Josh, what happened on that run right there?
Oh, just started pushing in a turn. Thought I'd get him back here in that last turn, but just couldn't pull him in.
Well, I will tell you, my buddy
Yeah.
Austin here has something he wants to tell you.
Listen,
Okay.
as far as somebody that's representing, anybody that has an AARP membership, you did your best, but I think it's time to move aside and let the young bucks out here and play.
I don't see you out there running, so
I don't run. I'm too big to run, so that's why they got me up here in this comfy chair in commentary.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that.
Man, you
All
did.
right,
You
well-
put on a valiant effort, though. I will give you that, man.
Yeah, it was feeling good, but that first turn I started pushing, and it just wasn't wanting to come around that first turn like I needed it to, so I was playing catch up right from there.
Yeah, it seems to be a lot of the stuff is lost and won in the first turn there.
Yeah, and then you got the slight discrepancies from each lane that is unique to each one. It's one and the same, but the difference is when you get them. In that right lane, you come around, it's tighter going into that set of cars. In the left lane, it's tighter when you're coming to that last turn for the shoot. So that's where it's going to be won and lost at.
That's what it seems like so far from everything that we've seen so far. These two out here on the track, Mothman and Pasture Pounder, are putting it to each other. Pasture Pounder's falling behind a little bit. Mothman jumping out into a lead.
Oh boy. Pasture Pounder gave her a little too much beans trying to go over the roller hill, and he's bouncing and banging all over the place, trying to get himself lined up. But it looks like it's going to be an easy win for Mothman.
Kind of taking.
Hey, I tell you what, I was impressed by Joe. Now, oh,
Hey, you don't own that truck by chance, do you, Josh?
no, I don't own that one, but I think I'll be a nice guy and I'll get down there and see if I can help him get that thing fixed up for the next event, because that looks pretty bad right there.
Oh man, it stuffed it up on its nose. All right, man, we'll holler at you later.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Man, he stuffed
Man,
it
you-
down into them cars.
I was like, well, as soon as I said easy win for Mothman, I think he might have heard me and decided, I'm going to put it to the wood, and if I wad this poor truck up, I'm going to put it on its end, whatever. But
And Pasture
Well,
Pounder
poor-
has had a rough couple of weeks, man.
man, double rolling it over at Oil X Speedway. I think he got knocked out in round 2 or semifinals back in Arrowhead, and now he just stuffed it into the crush cars here at Pontiac. And I know our track official is really upset because he was very stern about not touching his starting light. So I can't imagine he's going to be getting an earful from them here later tonight.
You're absolutely right about that. Well, our last matchup of round 2 is about to take place. It's going to be the Smash Squad, Smash Squad, and Bradley.
Oh, did you
Shaw.
say it right this time?
No, I said it. I always say it right. You're the one that has the problem with saying it right. Going to be taking on the North Star Nomad.
I don't know what you're talking about. My commentary is pristine. I never messed up anyone's name, any place of origin, or any truck name ever. Don't go back and rewatch any of the streams to prove me wrong.
No, you're supposed to, prove him wrong. Go watch all the streams. I know we're a bunch of amateurs doing this, but it's something we love doing. So
Exactly. There's no better feeling than coming up here on a Saturday night and talking trash about your buddies. Not to mention, I'm up here talking trash, up here in the commentary booth with you, and I got some ice cream.
there
So
you go.
I'm having the best night of my life right now.
I will
But I
say,
ain't gonna lie.
I will say we have a pretty good, really, really good community. It's not pretty good. It's really, really good. All these guys are diehard Leaf Spring Monster Truck fans, so it's always a pleasure to talk to them. Just hang around after the event, chit chat with them. All kinds of stuff. They're really creative. A lot of them bring their creative minds to their paint schemes and track designs and lore building and all of that stuff. So it all kind of ties together in this one little tight-knit community we have here over at Beam Motorsports.
Exactly. And if you watching, you want to come in and join the camaraderie and have fun with us, even if you don't think that you want to compete, just come on and join our Discord. It's over up on our website, BeamNG.drive. But we need to get right into our final round of second round
That
of
was
racing.
a perfect turn for Bradley Shaw around that corner, and Lynn Rivera is trying to send this thing as hard as it can all the way down to the corner. Oh, just a little, coming up a little bit short on this one. It's going to be Smash Quad taking the win unless something crazy happens there. Great run by both of them.
Lynn Rivera rolls it over. North Star Nomad up and over on its end.
Man, that looked like a rough tumble.
I was going to say, there's no dirt there. There's no
Now, I
cushion.
really
You
don't
are going straight to
understand
concrete.
I really don't understand the reason behind it. I mean, I guess to try to sell some T-shirts or whatever it was, because when you're that far behind, there's really no point in pushing it extremely hard. And they just decided, we're gonna full send, you know. What was that thing? If I don't remember the thing
If you ain't
shared.
If you're not gonna win, make the highlight reel or something along those lines. Are you talking about the quote that I shared in our chat forever ago?
Yeah, yes. Something about if you ain't redlining. Oh, that's right. If you ain't redlining, you ain't headlining.
For those who are wondering, that was a post I found from Mug Root Beer, which from the sounds of it, Ben, might as well be a sponsor because we got a couple of drivers in the back that are drinking some Malibu and Mug Root Beer right now. So that might honestly play a little bit of a hindrance on their performance here tonight at Pontiac Silverdome.
So we have to talk about our previous weekend. We got to go to the Hall of Fame induction ceremony as a sponsor to the Hall of Fame.
Man, talk about a surreal experience for all of us that were involved. So those of us that were there, obviously you and I were there. Our buddy Rudd, John Brosick, Kyle Seasock was there, and then another friend of ours that has been involved with Virtual Monster Trucks, Mike Bev. We were all there, and we just had an all-out blast. I'm not going to lie, kind of going into that weekend, I was not expecting the amount of people that were praising what we have done and what we have accomplished so far with the 2 years that we have taken over the Leaf Spring Monster Truck mod. And I say we, but in all honesty, a majority of the credit needs to go to Josh McClung and Bobcat Designs. He has really put his heart and soul and revamped this mod. And honestly, one of the best parts, there's two highlights for me personally, and it was seeing our buddy Rudd demonstrating the mod to a lot of the old guys that don't really understand a video game outside of an Atari. So seeing Bob Chandler, Everett Jasmer, Scott Hess, Chucky Pauken, Terry Woodcock, amongst a few that came over and saw their old trucks in the game, showing how it works, showing the camera angles, showing the tracks that we've done. It was a surreal experience, but I'm not gonna lie, I think the pressure definitely got to our buddy Rudd because every time that somebody came over to watch him, he kept wrecking the truck. I can't imagine, how much he was sweating when you have Bob Chandler over your shoulder watching you drive a Bigfoot and you crash. I imagine that's not a good feeling to have, but Bob was such an awesome dude to come over and talk with us. So that was one of the highlights, and the other was after you got an award for us sponsoring the event. It was, I guess you could call it an intermission that they had. We were able to go up and talk to Army Armstrong, the voice of that era of monster trucks, and he was so cool. I mean, obviously he talked with you more, but what did that feel on your end? Watching somebody who was the voice of a generation giving you advice as a commentator.
Yeah, I mean it was one of the lifelong dreams. Just like you see some people on TV like, oh, I'll never meet them, and then all of a sudden you do. It was a surreal moment to be able to shake the man's hand, and I figured he'd be like, oh, shake your hand, take your picture, whatever, and he'd move on to the next one. No, he stood there, talked to us for 5-10 minutes, and he said he had heard about what we were doing, and he had a couple of anecdotal stories to, we were talking about how nervous we get and all of that stuff, and just, he's just like, just let it go. I mean, just talk about what you see and, whatever comes to your mind. And He was an awesome dude. He gave both of us his business card, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
To be able to sit down and send him an email or send him a phone call, which I'm probably going to give him a call right after I get done with this or tomorrow morning. And well, I mean, he told me to call him, so I'm going to call him. You know, I'm going to call him on his request, but he said he wanted me to keep him updated on what we were doing. And hopefully he's around for a few more years and gets to see what we've been up to. And a lot of these guys, you know, they come to the Hall of Fame, would definitely like to get their opinion and see what they think of it. I mean, like Chuck Palkin, my favorite thing was he said it was giving him flashbacks to one of the races he was doing in Madison Square Garden. So there was a lot of little moments like that where you'd have somebody, you know, I mean, we might have naysayers, but they don't really say anything to us when it comes down to it. So, you know, we just gotta keep doing what we're doing, and we gotta keep making this the best. That's why we'll never charge any money for this. We do it for the history and the preservation of it, because this is where history and racing matters.
Exactly. And honestly, 2026, we're coming back to the Hall of Fame, and it's going to be bigger and better than ever because we're bringing a second simulator. How we're doing that, I don't know, but I think it's going to be really cool that we're going to offer people the opportunity to not only try the mod out that maybe didn't get a chance to do it this year, but maybe race against some of these old guys that, you know, they originally, this is where they started, was in this era of monster trucks. I mean, could you imagine, you know, you as a fan, because I know you're a Bigfoot guy. You've always been a Bigfoot guy, to my recollection. You're in simulator number 1, and you've got one of the other Bigfoot guys sitting over there in simulator number 2, and you get to race against one of your childhood heroes. That's kind of the goal. That's what we're aiming for, but we'll see what happens in 2026. But I can guarantee you, we're going to be there. Actually, there's going to be even more of us. So we'll definitely see how it turns out. But if you weren't there this year for 2025, the 15th annual Hall of Fame induction ceremony and banquet, when it comes around for 2026, you're not going to want to miss it because even more of us are going to be there, and it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I highly recommend supporting the museum wherever you can, too. They're doing a lot of good things, a lot of nice pictures and body parts and the trucks, and there's all kinds of stuff. There's something for everybody in the International Monster Truck Hall of Fame and Museum in Butler, Indiana. So if you're ever around that way, give it a check.
Absolutely. And not to mention that truck that they just debuted this year called the Abominable Snowman. That is a truck that the guy kept building and building and building it and never thought it was finished. And unfortunately, the owner of the truck passed away before he was able to debut it. The Hall of Fame was the first time it was ever on 66-inch tall tires, and it was a beautiful, beautiful truck.
Oh, yeah, no stone left unturned on that thing. It was extremely gorgeous. A lot of detail and craftsmanship went into it, and it's a shame that the guy thought it was never finished.
It kind of is a testament itself. Like, no matter how little the details may not seem perfect to you, just get out there and, you know, be a part of the thing that you love. But anyway, it is racing. This is Whiskey Maneuver taking on TMNT. This is essentially number 1 and number 2 in our point standings, and it is going to be a doozy.
Johnathan Robinson, this is a really, really, really good race right here.
This is going to be tight. And it's coming down to the wire.
Johnathan Robinson. No idea.
Tire. I got the replay. I have got the replay. I need to go back and watch this. Hold on a second.
I have no idea who won that. That was extremely close. That's why these guys are number 1 and number 2 in the points. That was, man, I mean, if Johnathan Robinson won that one, it wasn't by much.
Okay, I don't know if I'm able to in our Discord, but I am going to share my screen real quick. You need to see how close this was. Oh no! My replay went away. Well, we'll have to go back to that later. Oh man. Well, there it is. I don't know if you can see it.
By about half a tire.
Half
Johnathan
a tire.
Robinson's
The way to
going to
go.
move on to the next round.
Oh my goodness. Talk about
Wow.
like to the wire. That was a heck of a race. I mean, honestly, that is highlight material. There's nothing I love more in this series than when it comes down to the wire like that.
Man, he put up a heck of a fight. He knew what was on the line, and he pushed it to the limit. Both of them did. Johnathan Robinson is going to move on to the finals, and it's looking like the same old story up here. We got Mothman and Chris Gosler going to take on the Smash Squad and Bradley Shaw.
Is Bradley Shaw going to also make it to his third consecutive final round of racing? This is going to be a heck of a race. Chris Gosler honestly has been having multiple issues this season with that Mothman truck. Normally we see him in a truck called Green Machine, and Mothman has been not too kind to him, mainly ending up on the lid or all cattywampus out of control. Meanwhile, our local Canadian, Bradley Shaw, he has got this Smash Squad dialed in and set on kill.
He's having a little bit of trouble going around that corner. A lot of hopping action out of that front end of that truck. And Mothman has opened up a decent-sized lead on him.
And it looks like Brad's having all kinds of issues trying to pitch that truck in the corners.
Yeah,
Chris Gosler and Mothman is going to be moving on to the final round.
He's definitely not going to make it to the finals on this go-around. 2 in a row, though, not bad in the semifinals. He's definitely making moves in the point series.
Not bad one bit. I'm honestly very happy for the guy, very proud of how far he's came along. But final round of racing. So we were talking about this in the very beginning, Ben, that if Johnathan Robinson comes out and wins, he is going to have literally what we have marked a bounty on his head, to where everybody that is part of the Community Clash can come out there, and if whatever remaining events we have this year, whether it's round 1, round 2, whatever, if you were able to knock out Whiskey Maneuver and Johnathan Robinson, you obtain those bounty points. But bounty is only set if Johnathan Robinson comes out and wins a third event in a row.
Yeah, so
but will he do it? He's got Chris Gosler and Mothman.
And Chris has been doing extremely well here tonight, so this should be a really close battle. Both of them been doing really good getting around the turns down here. I mean, it's going to be it's a coin flip basically the way I'm looking at it right now.
It's anybody's ball game. Anybody can come out here and win, but you know what? It's final race here at the Pontiac Silverdome, event number 7 of the Community Clash, and it's came down to Johnathan Robinson and Whiskey Maneuver and Chris Gosler and Mothman. This is a Mopar and Chevrolet run, even though that Chevrolet is actually powered by a Ford.
Well, he knows where the power is at.
Well, exactly. I think the whole reason why he doesn't mind running a Chevy body is because Chevys are cheap and it's cheaper to get parts. He doesn't want to wreck a good
I don't know.
Ford.
Both of these are beautiful 70s pickup trucks. Parts can't be too cheap to find for those nowadays.
Well, I tell you what, man, if this is going to be a heck of a race. I know something miraculous is going to happen. Either this is going to be another extremely close race, or we're going to have to call the local tow truck company and pick up a bunch of scattered parts all over the place, because neither of these drivers are going to back down. Both trucks are on the converter and are waiting for the green light. Chris Gosler, Johnathan Robinson, who is going to win it here at the Pontiac Silverdome?
It's always a pleasure to win in Pontiac, so both of these guys are going to be pushing these things as hard as they can. Johnathan Robinson got a slight lead right now, but Gosler had made up some time right there coming up over that hill, and he slides it around there. Oh, Chris Gosler's going to move into the lead on the last turn right there.
Mothman is your winner here at the Pontiac Silverdome. Congratulations, Chris Gosler, finally getting his very first win of the season. Oh my goodness. I know Johnathan Robinson might be kicking himself in the head a little bit. He pushed her a little too hard in that turn, got her a little sideways and cattywampus. But you know what? What a heck of a race from both competitors.
Chris Gosler put on the race of his life. Did you see that last turn down there? Extremely smooth and extremely fast. I don't know if Johnathan Robinson thought Gosler was closer than that to him. Let's see if we can get the winner down here.
Did we get Chris
Whoa,
Gosler
wait
up
a minute.
in the,
I'm
in
hearing
the
from the
commentary
track
booth?
official that Chris
Uh-oh.
Gosler was disqualified on that run. I'm going to have to get a little bit more clarification
Whoa.
on that.
Unfortunately, because there's nothing that was
They're saying
highlight
he
worthy.
missed the last ramp to come to the finish line. So
The tabletop? He missed the tabletop?
that's what I'm hearing from the track officials. So Whiskey Maneuver is going to be declared your winner here tonight.
Oh, man. Finishing on a technicality, that cannot feel good. Oh, no. Should we get both drivers up here in the commentary booth,
Yeah, I'm
or
gonna
should we do one
I'm-
at a time?
I'm going to drag Johnathan Robinson down here first. And
Bounty.
Johnathan, great run from you tonight, man.
That last one wasn't too good.
No, I was
No.
just sitting here questioning whether you thought you had a bigger lead than you actually did, or what the deal was. Because as soon as you got to that corner, you lost all control of it.
Well, the bounce over the big hill is what got me, because that thing, right as I came off the end, it I don't know, it's like it just shot me forward so quick compared to what it had tonight, that when I got to the corner, I was like, oh, I got to turn. So I cranked it.
Yeah, we noticed you went a little bit wide there. We didn't know if you just maybe spaced out, just didn't crank the rear wheels enough, but it sounds like you got the win, though. So this is event number 3 that you are our racing champion. I know it's got to feel good moving up even further in the points. However, since this is number 3, you now officially have a target on your head. You are our first racer in the community clash that now has a bounty on their head.
I guess I feel honored in that regard. I didn't think I would make it this far.
Well, I mean, you should be proud. You did an amazing job. Whiskey Maneuver has been an outstanding performing truck all season long. This was number 7. We got 3 more to go. I'm very curious to see how far you're going to be able to take it. But also, let's kind of go back a little bit. That race that you had with Eli, talk about a nail biter. That was you won by half a tire. That was such a close race.
Yeah, I would say Eli got me off the tree and through the turns. He had those things dialed. I was just relying on the power to pull me down the straights and just hope for the best.
Well, heck yeah, man. Well, again, congratulations on win number 3. We'll definitely see you in the next one. But unfortunately, I got to get something to protect myself, because I don't think Chris Gosler is going to be too happy in this interview.
Well, good luck with that.
All right. Thank you, Prawn. Appreciate you, buddy.
Well, Chris, explain to me what's the technicality? I heard that you missed the last ramp.
So the technicality comes down to, I'm not sure, when I'm coming over that back jump, I know I had that turn like butter. That was the best turn probably of the night. And with Prong, you just never know. All right. So I'm just like, screw it. We're going to just lay into the throttle. And on the concrete, the back tire kind of rotates a little more on the other side, pushes the left front just slightly off the ramp, and it ends up being an L. It is what it is. It was a driver decision, driver error. In my heart, in Prawn's heart, he knows he lost. But, on technicality, he won. But I can't complain. It was a good event tonight. I'll get him next week. We're getting the kinks out of the truck. So
It's good to see you come all the way this far and make it to the final round of racing, because most of the time with this brand new truck, Mothman, as gorgeous as it is, you have not been too kind to this, or it has not been too kind to you. So it's nice. It's a nice breath of fresh air seeing you make it this far to the final round. Tough break that it was a loss on a technicality, but we got 3 more events left to go. There's still plenty of time to try and get up in the points. Do you think Mothman's got enough under the hood, or I guess I should say under the tonneau cover, to try and come up with some more wins this season?
Oh, absolutely, man. Never count it out. You never know what's going to happen, but we're going to be right there with the best of them. It's semis at the minimum every time, guaranteed.
All right. Well, again, tough break. It sucks to lose on a technicality. You definitely had the power. You had the maneuverability. Like you said, that turn was butter. You guys were neck and neck the entire time. Unfortunately, the concrete, with how slick it is out there, it bit you in the butt. But you know what, man? It's nice to see you make it to the finals. We're looking forward to see you make it there in the next one.
Oh, I'll be there. And hey, before I go, everybody watching the stream, if you have, you can go play with this amazing mod over at BeamMotorsports.com, the one and only housing of what for this mod. Recently just got an update. If y'all haven't been over there to play with yet, go give it a shot.
Heck yeah, that's why Guard is our good plug. Anyway, thank you, Chris, so much. Really appreciate you. We'll talk to you here in a little bit, but me and Ben, we got to close the show down. Again, congratulations, but better luck next time.
All righty, Spence. It's
Oh,
been a
man,
crazy
Ben.
night out here.
It's been a crazy past couple of weeks, man. Like bringing this mod to the Hall of Fame and having a lot of the OGs of the Leaf Spring Monster Truck era give us their 2 cents on this series, talking to people who commentate, giving us like kind of, giving us advice as far as being better commentators. And not to mention, those of you guys that are watching, like seriously, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for all the support that you guys give us. We know we're a small YouTube channel. We're a small group of guys that just sincerely love monster trucks and everything that is old school monster trucks. And you guys coming out and support us on the live streams or the videos, we wouldn't be here without you. This is truly a labor of love, and we appreciate you guys, despite all the smack talk, and I know I do a lot of it, but rest to be assured, this is the only time I'm able to talk crap, because most of the time I'm the one getting ribbed in the chats outside of commentary. But
yeah, I think it
seriously,
was a horrible
it's been a
mistake
blast.
for them to give you a microphone, because you can let it rip on them now and they can't say anything back.
Exactly. The repercussions come after the show, so trust me, I'll be dealing with it afterwards.
All righty.
But seriously, it's been a ton of fun, Ben. It's been an honor. Where are we going next? I mean, you can't get more iconic than a Pontiac Silverdome, so I'm very curious. Where is our next stop?
It isn't as iconic for sure. It's the Huntington Center in Toledo, Ohio. It's going to be a smaller track, a smaller arena, but from what I was looking at, it's more of like a indoor Penda style. Let's think of it that way, maybe, or maybe like early mid TNT without the hill. That's the best way I can describe it. So we got 3 events left. And the points series, or the points lead and everything is just getting closer and closer, and it's all coming to a head, and it's almost over. So hopefully we got some good things coming down the road. But we're going to be signing off here. Hopefully you guys come back, and not this Saturday coming, but the following Saturday, to check out another episode of the Community Clash. I'm Benjamin Butler, and that over there is Austin Spence, and y'all have a good evening. See you next time.